From unexpected accidents to mind-blowing transformations, these are the 25 Conan the Barbarian movie facts you missed. Beyond bodybuilding, becoming Conan wasn't just a role, it was an 18-month grueling odyssey for Arnold. Already a champion bodybuilder with 7 Mr. Olympia titles, he dedicated himself to sculpting the ultimate barbarian. He had to transition to a lifelong warrior, a distinction many modern bodybuilders cannot make. This required a completely different kind of training. Arnold trained like a true warrior, undergoing rigorous multidisciplinary schooling. He spent months mastering horseback riding, sword handling, and stage combat under martial arts master Kiyoshi Yamazaki. Yamazaki, a renowned sensei, drilled Arnold and the other actors until they could wield heavy props with conviction, ensuring the on-screen action felt authentically brutal. In a 2003 DVD documentary, Arnold revealed the dark side of this commitment. He practiced two-handed sword swings until his hands bled and blistered daily. This commitment was not vanity. Director John Milius insisted on absolute realism, demanding that the actors look and feel exhausted to channel Conan's raw, animalistic style. Arnold committed fully to the aesthetics, eschewing a Hollywood shortcut. He grew out his real, thick flowing mane for the film, no wig needed. This natural, untamed hair added to the character's primal authenticity, making the physical transformation complete from head to toe. This made it more real than ever. Arnold took acting lessons to channel Conan's silent intensity, but a major factor in his performance was his thick Austrian accent. Executive producers were concerned that it was too distracting for a hero's narrative. The solution? His first line of actual dialogue is famously uttered a dramatic 24 minutes into the film, letting his unmatched physicality and silent, brooding presence speak volumes. Arnold thought his bodybuilding days were over when he signed on, but the rigorous functional training for Conan got him in such peak shape that he felt unstoppable. In a shocking, controversial move, he made a last-minute return to the 1980 Mr. Olympia contest, winning his 7th title. The movie didn't just make him a movie star, it reignited his first passion and career. But Arnold's personal odyssey was only part of the director's epic vision. Director John Milius, an ardent historian and classicist, didn't just adapt a simple fantasy script. He forged Conan's world from a dense, contradictory melting pot of ancient myths. He drew inspiration from diverse, disparate sources: Norse sagas, Roman history, Eastern mysticism, to create a unique, Dark Age ancient vibe, which he often described as Nietzschean. Milius, a massive fan of cinematic epics, infused Conan with a haunting, ancient cinematic language, drawing heavily from Japanese samurai feels like Akira Kurosawa's works and the surreal horror of Kwaidan. He wanted the battles to feel brutal, unchoreographed and intensely personal, a technique borrowed directly from the samurai genres. The entire look of the film was a direct attempt to bring the paintings of fantasy artist Frank Frazetta to life. Milius and production designer Ron Cobb meticulously recreated the muscular heroes, sensual heroines, and eerie primal landscapes seen on Frazetta's iconic paperback covers in shots like Conan's mountain climb and the pit fights. Frazetta, however, was reportedly unimpressed with the film itself. The set design was a deliberate clash of civilizations. Egyptian, Celtic, and Mesoamerican architectural designs shaped Ron Cobb's massive sets. The blend of real-world ancient cultures gave the fictional Hyborian Age a timeless feel, far from the generic castles of other fantasy films. Milius slipped in nods to Robert E. Howard's extensive lore, hinting at a deep forgotten history. The famous Atlantean sword Conan finds is heavily implied to be a relic of a lost age, directly connecting the Cimmerian's world to the sunken realm of Atlantis, a common thread in Howard's work. The riddle of steel was central to this forgotten ancient wisdom. This dense historical texture also led to the film's most quoted piece of dialogue. Conan's iconic defining line at the 24-minute mark, "To crush your enemies, see them driven before you, and to hear the lamentation of their women," is pure brutal legend. It immediately defined the character's amoral, powerful philosophy. It's not an original thought from the script, it's a direct riff on a saying classically attributed to Genghis Khan, the Mongol warlord, which Milius confirmed was the intent. This was a piece of brutal history borrowed and reborn on screen, grounding the fantasy in real-world savagery. The Mongol vibes didn't stop there. Conan's loyal Hyrcanian buddy Subutai is not a random name. He is named after a real-life Genghis Khan general known for his tactical genius and loyalty. Tulsa Doom's seductive snake cult, which preaches power through mass devotion and emotional manipulation, was based on real-life medieval religious cults. Specifically, Milius drew inspiration from the Flagellants, reflecting the Doom's use of hypnotic control and strange rituals. Speaking of legendary creations, the film's music was an artistic achievement that set a whole new standard for the genre. Composer Basil Poledouris' score is the undeniable heartbeat of the film. He aimed for a primal operatic sound and was brought onto the project months early, working from storyboards instead of a finished film. This allowed him to fully develop character and ideological motifs, giving the score unparalleled thematic depth. The iconic Anvil of Crom theme is a masterclass in orchestral power. Poledouris used a massive 90-piece orchestra and a 24-member choir. The famously aggressive sound was built on a huge section of brass, reportedly featuring an astonishing 24 French horns, giving it a thundering, unforgettable punch. The score outshone many mainstream Hollywood works of the era, earning widespread praise from established composers, including the legendary John Williams. It set a new high standard for epic fantasy scores in the 1980s, influencing later works like Legend and Willow. Poledouris didn't neglect the emotional core. He composed a specific, beautiful and sweeping love theme, the wifing for the intimate bond between Conan and Valeria. This track provides a necessary melancholy balance to the film's relentless brutality. Beyond the beauty, the operatic grandeur came with a cost. The cinematic moment where Conan hurls a flaming torch into Tulsa Doom's palace was meant to be the first shot of a carefully orchestrated sequence. Arnie's torch toss slightly missed the mark, but the single-use set went up in flames immediately. With no budget to rebuild, the crew was forced to use that single, imperfect, raw take for the final cut. Arnold and Sandahl Bergman had such unique, powerful physiques that suitable stunt doubles were literally impossible to find. This meant they were forced to perform nearly all of their own, highly dangerous stunts. Arnold famously claimed he climbed one cliff face with no harness. The use of real weapons led to serious injury. During a heated sword fight, Sandahl Bergman, Valeria, suffered a nasty accident where a blade sliced off the tip of one of her fingers. She had to be rushed to the hospital, but in true warrior spirit, she returned to the set and joked it was just another battle scar. The infamous Tree of Woe scene, Arnold was chained to a massive styrofoam and plaster tree. He suffered a gash to his back from a prop that required 40 stitches. Later in the scene, he was famously required to bite a real dead vulture, an act that required him to wash his mouth out with alcohol after every take due to health concerns. The production drew significant controversy from animal rights activists due to the questionable usage and treatment of live animals. One of the most shocking moments was Schwarzenegger being required to actually punch a camel in the face during a scene, which was a real blow and an undeniable instance of animal mistreatment on set. Before Milius took the reins, Oliver Stone wrote the initial script. His version was utterly bonkers, a sprawling, nearly 4-hour post-apocalyptic saga. It would have required a budget of over $70 million and was immediately scrapped by producer Dino De Laurentiis. Milius' script saved the project. Which of these 25 facts blew your mind the most? Drop it in the comments, hit that like button, and subscribe for more epic movie secrets. Thank you for watching.